Hi there everyone and welcome back to my channel and welcome to another episode of Should You Pull for Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. Now this is actually a continuation of a video I posted earlier today that detailed the various things that we could get from both the story chapter banner, which includes Locke and Noel, and also the startup banner, which included Squall, Lightning and Cloud. So if you haven't watched that video already, then go and check that out. But this one is actually going to be talking about the Crystal Awakening level 70 batch 3, which is going to contain, hopefully, Ace, Serah and Aerith. Now, Ace we've had before, but he's going to be quite significantly stronger this time around. Serah stays pretty much exactly as she is, but she's still an extremely cool character, and Aerith is going to get her EX weapon for the first time. So if you guys want to have a look and see what their kits involve, whether it's a banner worth pulling on, whether we should be pulling on anything this close to EX Plus and Chaos difficulty, then stay tuned and keep on watching. As I always say in every video, don't forget to check out all of my social media links. So that's Facebook, it's Twitter, it's Discord, it's my Twitch channel, which you can see my schedule on the right hand side, though I will be streaming tomorrow instead of Friday, because that's obviously when all of the cool stuff comes around, and that's when we want to see all of the content, so you guys can come and watch me and see if I fail miserably on my free pulls, or whether I actually manage to get my first free EX. Hopefully it's not a dupe on the startup banner, because I already have all three of those and we don't want that. Anyways, don't forget to check out DissidiaDB.com, as it's my go-to resource for everything Opera Omnia related. Also, don't forget to check out all the giveaways that I have in the description box below as well, because I have 2 giveaways going on to celebrate breaking over 1 million views on YouTube, so do go and check those out as well if you want to win either a playset of full art promo Cactuars for FFTCG, or a hand-drawn portrait of Sephiroth done by myself. And of course, don't forget to check out all of the other content creators for Opera Omnia, because we all appreciate the clicks and subs and bell ringing and all of that stuff as much as I do. Now, being a triple banner in and of itself makes this banner very, very tempting, and the first character is the easiest character for me to talk about because I've been using her for God knows how long already, is Serah. Now, Serah is fantastic as a buffer slash debuffer character who just does pretty much everything you'd need her to do when it comes to doing that, except HP healing. Her wound does massive amounts of debuff, so max brave down, defense down, all sorts of different things, and it also gives you unshaken will, which makes her wound and moonlight become moonlight and wound plus, which makes it so that you get much bigger damage out of them. You get splash damage on all other targets other than the one that you've targeted already. You get ally battery bravery while you're doing it. You then get brave attack plus as well, which is just a simple support brave attack that gives bravery to the party. And you just get loads of really nice stuff out of wound. And then moonlight becomes really good because it grants an attack buff to your entire party, which is actually quite a significant buff as well. You also get loads of uses out of her because of her cursed artifact, if you will, which I will touch on in just a moment. And then you also get brave batteried again, and then it does a bravery attack and then an HP attack after it. So you just get a lot of solid damage while you're buffing your characters and debuffing your opponents, and you get loads of really nice damage. You get attack down off of Moonlight, I failed to mention. You get loads of really nice debuffs, and her EX weapon just exemplifies and adds to it. Before we go on to the EX though, it is very important to realise that with Serah, it's very important to farm up her artifacts. So that's the debuff attack boost all and the moonlight charge and boost. Personally, I think debuff attack boost all is more important of the two, but really, I mean, I spent 3 days doing this, like when she came out the first time around, but you really want at least one artifact that has both of those rares on it, because it really does make a massive difference to her viability. I mean, she's certainly not bad without them, but it really does make a big difference if you get it. Now, Ultima Arrow is a really nice ability as well, because it actually just compounds everything she already does. It's slightly slow recast rate, which is fine, it's not too bad, it's a normal recast rate for the time being. There's a 7-hit brave HP attack that does 30% HP damage, 50% if you've got the HP, if you've got the limit break sorted as long as the enemies are broken. But it also inflicts to all targets that she hits the Goddess Light debuff, which is another poison on top of the poison she already deals with wound, and also it also lowers their defense further, so you get defense down and poison twice when it comes to Serah, and it's just a really nice thing to have. I've used it so many times since it's come out. It's really useful for the rest of Cosmos era and possibly even to the beginning of Chaos too. Her EX Plus is actually really nice as well. We have to wait a little while for this until we get to the Brothers Ultimate, where you'll get Vanille, Setzer and Serah all at once. But her Ultimate Arrow gets a Brave Overflow, which it does kind of want. It's sad that she doesn't get it already, but it does kind of want it. She also gets an HP Attack Plus and an HP Attack Plus Plus, which is the only thing in her kit that's really missing. And it also raises Party Bravery before doing it, and then it also has Brave Overflow when it's HP Attack Plus Plus. You get Unshaken Will at the beginning of the quest, which is really nice because it means you don't have to use a suboptimal wound as opposed to a wound plus straight off the bat, which is really great. You get more Brave Overflow limit, you get a better Brave Attack Plus Plus, you get a self battery before the attack goes off and it deals more damage. It's just a really nice EX. There's nothing bad about Serah's kit. She has offenses, she has defenses, she has debuffs, she has buffs, she's got party auras. She's got everything realistically that you'd want in a support character, and honestly, she's just really nice to have. Aerith actually comes with her EX for the first time around this time, and I must admit, I've always glossed over Aerith whenever she's come out, because I've actually always found her kit to be quite dull. But she does get quite a lot out of this. She doesn't have a full rework or anything, but what she has is she does healing, and she does a lot of it. So once you've got on her level 55 passive and all of her weapons and everything, her Healing Wind does a nice Brave Battery, it raises your HP, or it heals your HP, you get initial Brave up off of it, and it's just kind of quick. It's just a useful ability to have more than anything, and then if you have the 15 CP passive, you just get more HP and bravery off of it, and it's all based off of her attack, which is something to bear in mind when it comes to her artifacts as well. And then Prayer of the Cetra, the nice thing that she has here is that she can revive a fallen ally, which there aren't many characters that can do that, so that's something perhaps worth bearing in mind if you're not waiting on Ishtola, because Ishtola can do that with her EX weapon later on down the line as well. And then you've also got the fact that she gets a Brave Attack Plus, you also get defenses and Brave Regen out of the Cetra's Favour buff, which is kind of nice as well. You also get more HP out of the Crystal Awakening. You get a large magical attack up from Cetra's Favour, which is nice if you plan on using magical-based characters. So she's kind of like an evolution of Deuce once you've got her EX weapon and you've got all of the stuff from it. She also gets an HP Attack Plus, which is really nice. So she gets HP Attack Plus, which raises her magic attack, and then she does a Magic Brave and HP attack that can overflow up to 120%, which is really good. Like, you know, when you've got a support character, they need to be doing something to be pushing the force forward. Because when you look at, I've just mentioned Serah, when you look at characters like Serah or Lena, who are just like support-based characters, they still do a large amount of damage, and neither of Aerith's abilities do HP attacks after you've done them. So there is that to bear in mind when it comes to actually using her skills. That she is there to be a healer and just be really good at the one job that she's given. She does have some party buffs though, which is quite nice. Like, she's got an aura there, which is initial bravery and attack by 10%. She does do some nice little buffs while she's got Cetra's Favour active. She's also got initial brave and defense while their HP is at max. She's got lots of little things that are really nice, but what you really want from Aerith is that EX weapon. I should also mention to you guys that Aerith does also have cursed artifacts, although hers are less important than Serah's to a certain degree, because they just increase the use of it. Well, I mean, I say that as if it's nothing. They just increase the uses of her skill abilities. They raise her max bravery by 50% as well for the entire party, so actually I take back what I've said. These are very important to you if you want to pull for Aerith, as is the case with pretty much anyone who has these cursed artifacts. You're going to want Healing, Wind Charge and Boost in all three slots realistically. Past that, you're probably just going to want attack and offensive stats, because that's what her abilities will scale off of. So Aerith's EX weapon is a normal recast rate, pretty useful EX weapon to be honest. It doesn't sound like it does very much on its own, but Aerith is the first character to bring something to the table that we will see more of in the EX Plus era, but her being the first of her kind is quite useful. And that's granting a buff that raises the max bravery overflow limit for the entire party. Now, like I said, we'll see more of this later down the line in the EX Plus era, but it's definitely a buff that you're going to want for your party, at least at some point. But basically, Fury Brand itself just raises your party's bravery. That's it. But it grants a buff called Descent of the Ancients, which turns her brave attack and her HP attack into plus versions of themselves, which is significantly better because her HP attack plus is actually really nice because it's party or raises her bravery based on her max bravery. Follows up with a 2-hit brave HP attack. Bravery can overflow up to 120% and it's a low action delay, and of course it doesn't take any of her skill uses away. So it means that she does gain an offensive force that she's able to use that, while not as strong as Noctis or Noel or anything like that, or Ace, which I'll come to in a moment, it's a really useful thing to have. And she, you know, the buffs that she has, like the magic attack up, the party attack up, the max brave overflow limit, it does all add up. Like the banner itself is actually quite nice because all three of the characters do work really well together because they all buff each other really nicely, and you've got Serah doing the debuffs and Aerith making sure everyone stays alive. And then she also prevents KO if HP's over 50%, so she doesn't die very easily. And obviously if she heals herself back up, it's even harder to kill her. So there's a really nice thing to have with Aerith, but I think that she could do with a little more offensive pressure for me to really love her. Now, predictably, Aerith EX Plus kind of just does more of the same of what she already does, and she's only recently received this alongside Waka's EX Plus, but when using your Fury brand, you get an HP attack after use. That makes me happy straight away. It also heals, which is cool. You're also going to get a little bit more of the max bravery overflow limit from Descent of the Ancients, which is realistically the reason you're using Aerith in the first place. You get Cetra's Favour, Descendant of the Ancients, and a large attack up buff when she starts the quest, which is great because a lot of her abilities scale off of her attack. And then Fury Brand will also extend the duration of Descendant of the Ancients as well as granting it, so you just never run out of it realistically. And then you also get a Brave Attack plus and an HP attack plus. And you also get a 3-hit Magic Brave HP attack that can overflow 150% through Fury Brand. And she basically just becomes a lot better at actually hitting things than she currently is. My biggest issue with Aerith is that she's not Ishtola. Now, Ishtola, when she gets her rework and her EX Plus and everything like that in like maybe a month or two's time, she's going to be really, truly exceptional. Now, Aerith looks really good as a defensive character now, but she's one of those ones that I'd say looks really cool now. EX Plus is kind of going to write her off for quite some time. Now, Ace is a little bit of a different story. Ace is a character that went from a bit of a meme to being quite the powerhouse. So we all know how his mechanics used to be. Whenever he uses abilities, he'd get cards that show up above the character, and then when he maxed out the characters, his burst would turn to Mega Burst, his Spiral Blast would turn to Mega Spiral Blast, a Spiral Combo, sorry. Now things have changed slightly. So, Burst and Mega Burst give him, also when he uses Mega Burst, he gets a stack of a new framed buff called, well, it's called Suzaku's Trump Card, but it's called Vermilion Deck, I believe, in English. It now doesn't consume the card stock after you use it, which is massive because then Burst stays as Mega Burst, and it triggers an HP attack after use. While you've got Vermilion Deck active, you get a Brave Attack Plus, which is lovely. You also get an HP Attack Plus because you'll have it from the Spiral Combo Extend, which is just a 3-hit AoE Brave Attack before the HP attack, and that's an AoE Brave HP attack is really nice. That's like Renoa, but in reverse. It's obviously not quite as good as Renoa's, but it also doesn't hurt you, so let's take that into consideration. When you've got card stock maxed out and the Vermilion Deck maxed out, you get Mega Burst Plus, which is basically just a really fat hitting Mega Burst that can Brave Overflow up to 180%. You then get Brave Attack Plus. It's obviously each stack of the Vermilion Deck gives you Rex Brave and Attack, which is really nice. And then the Mega Spiral Combo, when you use Mega Spiral Combo Plus, it hits really hard, has 150% max overflow, and it deals 50% splash damage to the other targets. Basically, Ace goes from super complicated, will hit fairly hard occasionally, to takes a little while to build up and then hits really, really hard. And his EX adds to this as well. He actually gets the Party Aura from his level 68 passive as well. He also gets from his level 65 passive an attack up, which it's not too big a deal, but I mean it's still going to help you. But like the main reason I like abilities like that, even though you're not going to use them all that often, is because they can delay your opponent's turn for a turn, so they may come out of their break status during that window. So it means that you can then break them again and you'll get another turn before they get one. But like I said, the primary reason you want to use Ace is because he hits really hard. He's a magic damage dealer that just does a lot of damage. And his EX just compounds that, and his EX Plus will compound that even further. And Ace's EX Plus is actually one of the early ones. So those of you who've seen Ace's EX during the first time he came around with his level 60 awakening, you'll pretty much know what to expect here. It's a slightly slow refresh rate that has a 6-hit magic Brave HP attack that can go over 150%, deals 50% HP to non-targets, which is great, AoE damage, can't complain at that. Fills his card stock, so we go straight to Mega Burst and Mega Spiral combo, and he gets either red card, black card, blue card, or yellow card, which is randomly selected. Realistically, you want red card, yellow card, or black card. Blue card is more defensive than offensive, so if you get that, it's not the end of the world, it's not bad, but really you just want things that are going to make you hit harder. They're all party buffs though, so that's there to be, there's that to bear in mind. And he gets more brave damage and recast, but it was an early EX, so the buffs that you get from the Limit Breaker are actually quite basic. But as I said, his EX Plus actually comes quite quickly, and it's really, really strong. His EX Plus will come with Juice's Lost Chapter, and honestly, Ace is definitely the prize out of the pair when it comes to those two. So when you use Jackpot Shot, you then get your Suzaku's Trump Card / Vermilion Deck / whatever they end up calling it for 6 turns. You get a massive Brave Potency increase, which is great because the amount of support buffs that's going to make his max Bravery much higher. He also starts the quest with 2 stacks of the Trump card as well, and then when you use the Jackpot Shot, it raises its max overflow limit. It was already at 150%, so that's really strong, and it increases the number of hits to 8. More hits is good. We like more hits. It's really simple, but Ace just hits that hard that you can't really not look at him. So of all the things on this banner, I would say Ace was actually the prize of the 3. So as you can see here, Deuce and Ace EX will come back pretty soon after EX Plus comes about. Like if you scroll up slightly, you'll see it goes from Cloud EX, which is the first one, and you get Dark Knight, Cecil and Garnet, which don't have EX Pluses. Then you've got Tidus and Fang, Garland Wall. These two are for Leviathan's banner, or Ultimate Leviathan, and then you get Deuce and Ace. And then not long after that, we should see the triple banner, which is the Brothers event, which will come with Serah, Setzer, and Vanille EX Plus, and that's when you'll be able to get Serah again if you haven't got her already. And then it's going to be ages before we see Aerith come back, where she's only recently popped up within the last month or so, alongside Waka EX Plus. So if you're going for Aerith, then you could grab her now because she is useful for the next month, maybe 6 weeks or so, and then she'll fall off when Ishtola comes around because Ishtola does kind of do everything she does better. But then Ace is a really strong unit, and stays that way for quite some time. He goes from like meme to meme in the flash of a second. His EX Plus is really quite strong, even as simple as it is. And then Serah is actually a really useful character from now until early Chaos, and then when she gets her EX Plus, she becomes useful once again. So, obviously we have a free pull on this banner, so if you get any of them on this banner, be really happy about it. None of them are bad characters, they're all pretty solid. If you get Ace in particular, I'd be extra happy. If you get Serah, if I get Serah, I'll be annoyed because I already have her, but if you get Serah, I'd be pretty happy about it. If you get Aerith, I'd also be pretty happy about it, but you'll probably shelve her quicker than you will the other two. I just think that it's a nice banner, but like most banners this month and the beginning of next, they're all niceties. They're just nice. You don't need any of them as far as I can tell. Serah, if anything, has carried me for the past few months, but there are other characters that have come out since then, and there'll be other characters come out like Charlotta, who are really powerful support characters that you'd probably use over her until the EX Plus. So do I think that this banner is worth pulling on? Do I think that Aerith, Serah and Ace are worth grabbing? I think the banner's really nice. I do. I think the fact that there's 3 EXs on it is a fantastic plus. The fact that Serah, Ace and Aerith are all solid characters is great. I'm not going to pull on this banner, particularly, unless I do really well with the free pulls, similar to what I said when it came to Locke and Noel. So I don't personally think this banner's worth putting too much resources in, because Ace comes back pretty quickly. He's also a character that appears in the EX Shop Mark II, which we won't see for a little while, but if we don't see him before then, he's probably the character I'll pick from that, because Ultimisia comes out like a week after Ace EX Plus does, and in terms of magic damage, she's definitely the character that I'm personally going to pick first when it comes to that. So this banner is one that you can pull on if you want to, but don't feel that you have to. You wouldn't be wasting your resources on it necessarily, and your chances of getting an EX on it are higher than most because there's 3 of them. So I personally won't be pulling on this banner, but I wouldn't be mad at you for pulling on it. It's fine, it's not mandatory. So that's going to be it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed this video and the video before it, so we were all prepared for the massive onslaught of content that we're going to be getting on the 10th of October. We've got EX Shop, which I've obviously made a big video about already. It's actually my featured video on my channel if you'd like to go and watch that. We've got the story chapter with Locke and Noel. We've got the autumn festival we're coming up, which we don't even know what that's going to entail, and then we've got this banner coming up with Ace, Aerith and Serah as well. So if you decide to pull on any of these banners after the free pull, I wish you all the best of luck, and I hope that you guys get the most out of these characters that you absolutely can. I mean, I ended up with a Gilgamesh EX and I'm now tempted to go and get his other weapons through weapon tokens or something, just because it's like I can't stand not having a complete character, and I was trying to be memey and think, oh, wouldn't it be funny if I got Gilgamesh EX in 5 tickets? Typically I get lucky on the one I don't actually want, but I shouldn't complain. So at the end of the day, if you want to say, make the most of any characters that you pull, and if you get one on any of these characters on a free pull, count your blessings, use the character and make the most of them. Anyways, that's going to be it from me. Thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell for notifications. I shall see you guys soon in the next video. Bye!